So on the guitar fretboard, they put some dots. Now, this is my nicer guitar, so instead of dots, they've got these little seagulls and these dolphin thingies. But what you can't see is they've actually put a convenient dot right here. So here's a dot, so that from the player's perspective, if I can't see the actual fretboard, but I'm seeing a dot right here, most guitars just have a dot. So this gives you an anchor visually as to where you are on the fretboard. And they start off at the 3rd fret, and then they do every other. So it's 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. And then they skip a couple, and at the 12th fret, they give you 2 dots. Okay? So this is also true of basses, by the way, too. So all fretted instruments in Western music, basses and guitars, will typically have a double dot at the 12th fret. It's because it's to indicate the octave. So if I play the string open, that's an E, and if I fret it at the 12th fret and play it, it's also an E, but it's an octave above. Okay? So the 12th fret gives us the octave. If I fret it only 1 fret up, I'm going up. How far distance am I going up if I do 1 fret? A half step. So an E now going up becomes an F. So if I'm fretting this string and I play that, it becomes an F, so it's going up a half step. Same would be true if I go down that way. Okay, so if I go up to this E that's 12 frets up, that's the octave E. If I go down a half step, it sounds half step lower, right? It's going to be one of those black keys that we haven't learned the names of yet. Okay? Okay? But do me a favor. Now we're going to see, here's the low E, and we're going to go up a half step and sing it. So I'll do it once, and then you join me. Go half step, sing it. Half step. Now in tune. Half step. That's better. One more time. Half step. Okay, now we're going to do the half step down, which is going to be start from here. So it's going to sound like this. Half step. Sing it. Half step. Half step. Now some of you try it. Half step if it needs to be higher for you. So ready, sing it. Half step, half step. And for the younger ladies or the larger ladies, half step, half step. Ready? Okay, now we're going to do half step up. Half step, half step. Now go down. Half step. With me so far? See, I got you to laugh. Everybody was falling asleep. Now we're back at it. So it's going to do the same thing for whole steps. Okay, same thing for whole steps. Do it with, here's the low E, E. This was the half step, but this is the whole step. That whole step. Now sing it with me. Whole step, whole step, whole step. Now we're going to go up back up to here. It could be this octave or this octave. I don't care which one seems more comfortable to you. We're going to go down. Whole step, whole steps. Keep going. Whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. Okay? Now do it one more time where you actually sing strong, because all of you started laughing and being silly with me, but you need to sing it. So you need to go one more time, because all y'all stop singing. Okay? So it's theory class choir, ready for descending whole steps right here. Whole step, whole step. Now we're going to go up. Whole step, whole step. Now we're going to go up a half step. It sounds like this. Half step. Sing it. Half step. Now we're going to do whole step. Half step. Half step. Yeah? With me so far? We've defined what an interval is. We know what half steps are. Interval is the distance between any 2 notes. And our unit of measurement of distance is half steps and whole steps. Okay? So to get to here to my house is about 1 mile. To get from one note to the next on the piano keyboard is a half step. To go up 2 frets on a fretboard is a whole step. Let me say that again. To go from one note on the keyboard that's immediately adjacent to the next note, that distance is a half step. If I go down 2 frets on the fretboard, that distance is called a whole step. Okay? Now, if you've already labeled your keyboard charts with natural tone names, A through G, on the keyboard charts, I want you should have a fretboard there on page 6 that you can name the open string note names. You probably already wrote them down. Any questions so far? Because we're about to move on. For the record, some of the people asking questions have been playing music for years. So all of you people that aren't asking questions. Natural tones are the 7 letters of the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's when you play the white keys of the piano. Now there's a term called sharp and flat. And when you play those white keys, they are neither sharp nor flat. Okay? They are natural. So if you just put the letter A or the letter C and don't say the word natural, the system of theory implies it. Okay? So if somebody just says, hey, it's a C, they don't have to say the word natural. If all they say is C or D or F, it's assumed it's natural. It doesn't have to be indicated or spoken. But sometimes when you start talking about this thing sharp and this thing flat and this thing sharp, you might need to come back and say, oh, but I mean an A natural. So you'll say the word A natural to indicate it's neither sharp nor flat in the situations where you need to be specific. The majority of the time you can just say A and it's implied that it's natural. Does that make sense so far in the way those terms are used? Okay. So a black key will always be called something sharp or something flat. Okay? Because it's not one of the white keys. The white keys on the keyboard, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. The black keys always have a sharp name and a flat name. With me so far. So if I just say G, you know it's the white key G. If I say G sharp or G flat, it's going to be one of the black keys. With me so far? Okay. Now, if you've got something in your hand, just put it down for a second. So need your hands free. Okay? Now, I want you to take your two hands, just kind of have them here, and do what I do and say what I say. Ready? Ready? So just mimicry here. Ready? Sharps go up. Sharps go up. Not back down. Not everybody said it. Sharps go up. Sharps go up. Flats go down. Flats go down. One more time. Sharps go up. Sharps go up. Flats go down. You know what? Just one more time, because there's some people that learn kinetically. Sharps go up. Sharps go up. Flats go down. Okay. Which way do naturals go? Neither. So now here's what's tricky, is the words sharp and flat actually have three different ways we use them in music theory. So when we start talking about the words, I want to define them right up front. You can follow along on the page if you like. First, we make the association that sharp means higher, or the pitch goes up, or flat equals lower, or the pitch goes down. So this could say, you know, on a piano keyboard, if you're looking at the keyboard, you can see that a B and a C are immediately adjacent to each other. The two white keys are a half step apart. And if I'm on B, I could use the phrase, I want to sharp that note. In which case, I want to take the B and raise it up to a C. Make sense? Or, okay, or I want to flat that F. And if I flat an F, it becomes an E. So now the word sharp and flat is sort of like a verb. Sort of, you know, it's like it's something I'm doing to a note in terms of the way that I use the word. Okay? Now, sometimes we use both words as a description to say that something's a little out of tune. Now, this is a whole different thing, because you could be playing or singing a D note. Excuse me. Let's say you're singing an E note, okay? And you're a little bit high on it, a little bit out of tune, and you're a little above the center of the note. But you're not quite all the way up to make the next slice, if you will, which would be F. Right? Because remember, it's a 12-tone system, we got 12 slices. But there's a large number of possibilities of pitch in between the 12 slices. And they usually kind of sound out of tune to our Western ear. So if I'm singing an E, but it's not quite, and I'm out of tune and I'm high, but I'm not quite over to the next slice of F, I would say I'm a little out of tune, I'm sharp. Okay? If I'm on a C, and I'm singing a C, I don't know if this is a C or not, but I'm just going to make up this note and pretend this is a C, but I'm a little bit under the pitch that it ought to be, but I'm not quite down to B, which is a half step below C, but I'm somewhere in the middle. Okay? I would say that I'm singing a little flat, right? Because I'm below the pitch that I'm desired. So that's the second way that we use those words in music. Does that make sense to everybody?